Okay, we're back with part 2 on this. So I just made a title, and it's over here. And if I drag that title over to the top of the in the video 2 timeline, you can see that it's actually incorrect. It's 1 over 30, so that'd be 1/30th of a second at f5.6 at 400. And so when I drag that over the clip, I can have it play for the whole clip. It'll just play right on top of there, right? And so that will be one of your clips. You'll have probably like a 30th of a second. Your f-stop will remain the same, and you'll have your ISO for that exposure. Now, if I go back to the other clip, it should be the same subject. It shouldn't be changing the way I am right now. I just don't have two clips of the same thing to work with right now. So if I go up again, I make a new title slide, a new default still, right? I'm going to click OK, and here's my my information. I'm going to select the text tool, and I'm going to type in. So now it should be on the order of, say, like 1 over 1/25th of a second or 1/250th of a second. So there should be a big difference. Should be f5.6 again, and now the ISO needs to change. So if I was at 100 for the first slide, then I go from a 30th to a 60th of a second, I'd be at ISO 200, and then if I went up to 1/25th, I'd be at ISO 400. Okay, I'm going to make it ISO 400. I didn't put the ISO in there. Okay, so I'm going to select that. The title slide is made, and I'm going to put it up above here. So it snaps to the end. So, okay, so if I was at ISO 400, I made a mistake. So now if I started at 400 and I kept the same exposure, it would be from 400 to 800 to 1600 for that. So I'd have to go back and correct that, which I can. I can go back and correct that at 1600. Okay, so the key here that I want you to really pay attention to is that the shutter speed is going to be slow in one, higher in the other. The f-stop should stay the same in both, but the ISO should probably change, and visually there should be nothing different. That was back to the same example I showed you here with the waterfall. Here it's blurred, here it's sharp. The exposure should be relatively equivalent, all right? It should be almost exactly the same between these two, okay? So that's important. So after you've got all of this done, you can save your project and put it in a place where you're paying attention. You know where it's going, and then we're going to go back to the export, okay? So we're going to go up here. We're going to go to Export, Media. And you're going to export it as an H.264. Now, it's probably not going to be in that default window when you open it up. You have to select H.264, not Blu-ray, okay? None of these other formats. We're choosing H.264. That's the compression codec that we want to use, okay? The preset is we're going to use Vimeo, and this is 1080p, and I really apologize, but it will not show on my screen. I'm not able to I don't think show you the preset on the thing. There's many presets in the export command, and I just can't get the Vimeo to show up on the screen because it's so far down on the screen. But you can see after I select it, it comes up in here, Vimeo 1080 HD. If you're shooting 720, I want you to select 720p. We're choosing Vimeo because if you do a good job, we're going to post it on our website when we use Vimeo for the website. The other thing you need to pay attention to is here, the output name. When you select the output name, you're going to be able to change the name of your file and decide where you want to put it. Okay, so I want you to name it very, very specifically as it shows up here. I want it to say shutter speed last name. Underscore your last name. All right, and it's going to come over as an MP4. I just exported one before and it's on the desktop. That's so we're going to export another one and it's going to probably give me a error. So I'm going to say last name 2 because it's not going to let me export with the same name. And then after I type that in, I have to move this up and I'm going to hit the export button. You'll also notice in the preview here there are no letter boxes, no black bars on the top or the bottom here. That'll tell me that we're doing this correct. So I'm going back here and I'm going to hit the export button. It'll encode the sequence, write it to the desktop. We're going to hum a little song for the next 30 seconds. I have a kazoo here. Cassandra wants to play it. We'll now have a moment of silence for the rendering. Okay, done. So here's the little clip. Oh, I'm gonna have to open it up.
Or maybe the old one.
It might be the old one. Yeah, I don't know if it's the, yeah, it's the old one. So here's the new one we just did. Right. Ah, it imported it rather than opened it. Alright, so you can hear the sound of the wind. And then here's the other part of the clip. Now, again, I don't want you to do this. I want you to shoot it like the waterfall, right? I don't want you to change subjects. I just didn't have 2 clips. But you'll notice here, when it comes up here, it'll say 30 seconds. We're dead on 30 seconds here. We're dead on at the end of this thing here at 29. If I walk it up, right? 30 seconds. That's it, right? No extra frames, right? That's the key. Okay, so we're going to close this one off, and I'm going to do you a really quick video to talk about camera settings. Ciao.